Hi everybody, this video is about Daniel John Lee's case for defamation with malice, which he just lost, and the judgment against him was $4.65 million. It's a great victory for truth and decent American patriots and Christians who this online defamation artist, con man, in my opinion, has been defaming wildly, violently, without basis, without any cause or provocation. Malice was found in the factual evidence of his case. So let's dig into it. This is my second lap of this video because the first one I don't think I did a very good job, neither did my wife. So I'm gonna say this a little bit better this time. So Daniel John Lee out of Juneau, Alaska began attacking me and others online. I first learned about him when I founded Veterans for Child Rescue, and we began running joint operations with federal and local law enforcement, running operations and arresting child predators. And we've got 23 child predator arrests with a 100% conviction rate. I'm a former federal criminal investigator, and that's why I work with law enforcement on these cases. All right, so Daniel Lee inexplicably began running me down online in these wild, crazy, hateful rants, yelling into his camera and posting videos online, presumably to cash in on those for clickbait, as were several other people at that time. Most of them have gone silent. There's still one that's very loud, and he's next to be brought to a legal account. We have all of his antics archived, and that scumbag is next. We won't mention his name today, but his day's coming. Many of you know who he is. He's brought it on himself, a real psychopath and lifelong criminal, convicted felon, and so forth. So a lot of these people that are attacking me or the other gentleman on this case are pedophiles and criminals, and it's well documented. So right now we're going to talk specifically about Daniel Lee. So Daniel Lee was screaming into his phone, yelling all kinds of obscenities and making some very ugly, baseless, and pointless accusations against myself, against Doug Hagman, Russ Dizdar, and Steve Quayle. And all of these are good American patriots and Christians who are men of honor and integrity. And I know, without getting into a whole dissertation on it, they are all good men, and I know all of them personally except for Steve Quayle, and I've only spoken to Steve on the phone, but he's been nothing but kind and generous with me, and everybody that I know that knows him thinks very highly of him, and as is the case with Doug Hagman and Russ Dizdar, they are fine Christian men, and I'm honored and proud to know them. So Daniel John Lee, DJ Lion 7 is what he puts on all of his social media content, began just screaming these horrible defamation rants, saying the very worst possible things against us and our families and our organizations, and I mean just accusations of pedophilia and murder and just way over the top, ridiculous, inexcusable fake accusations. So begging us, taunting people to please sue him. He was ranting and yelling and begging us to sue him. So we did. And we brought the evidence to the court. And when Daniel John Lee, after all his online bravado to his followers who don't do their background checks and don't vet their sources, he went from hero to them to zero, because when he was served, he seized up and refused to even appear and even try to defend his antics, which were indefensible. He knew it and we knew it. And thank God, in the language of the decision of the court, which is on our website, folks, please go to vetsforchildrescue.org right now and look at the official court PDF document that's archived there, as well as with the court. Dated June 1st, 2021, out of Stark County, Ohio. you'll see in the language of the case that Daniel Lee was approached by numerous witnesses online who tried to tell him his accusations and attacks against these gentlemen and myself were erroneous, they were false, they were patently and demonstrably false, and they provided Daniel Lee with the evidence that he was in the wrong. And it's painful to see that Daniel John Lee proclaims himself to be a prophet, folks, of all things. This guy who is breaking one of God's most basic rules from Exodus 20:16, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Daniel John Lee is literally making a living bearing false witness against his neighbor. Folks, in my opinion, you cannot claim to be a Christian, let alone a prophet, if you are making your living as a con man bearing false witness against good American Christians and patriots. Facts are the facts, folks. Internet rumor means jack squat when factual evidence has been gone through in a court of law, right? So Daniel Lee had not only his opportunity to defend his actions, but the responsibility to, and he showed that responsibility like so many others in his life. So he ran from it. He wasn't interested in the truth. He wasn't interested in the factual evidence and all of the witnesses that knew all of us and were trying to inform him. So there it is, folks. There's the bottom line. That's who you're dealing with. That's who Daniel John Lee is. He's a man who's not interested in the truth, but he's interested in attacking good men. So what's his motivation? I don't know. Unless it was financial, unless he was making enough money yelling to his followers on his videos that he was able to use that clickbait from YouTube and other platforms to feed himself. You guys can research online whether or not he's ever even provided for his children and how many marriages he's been on, whether it's 6 or 10 children, or 6 or 10 wives now that he's been through. I honestly don't know for sure, and I don't even care. But the information of what this guy is and how he's lived his life leaves him zero place to attack others. He needs to fix himself, it sounds like. I don't wish him any ill, but this guy has been sentenced to pay $4.65 million in damages. Over $1 million in that are punitive damages, which he can never bankrupt himself out of or run from. He cannot outrun the punitive damages. He's owed that. And he's bragging apparently that Yah, who he talks about is, and rather than Jesus Christ, he talks about Yah. So he says Yah is blessing him financially. And it looks like he's making about $15,000 a month on his roadshow talking to his followers that don't vet their sources and have never bothered apparently checking him out or don't have basic discernment or character judgment against a guy that causes so much harm as he does. So either Yah is blessing him with $15,000 a month-ish, or he's dead broke and can't pay. But it can't be both. So I'll leave that up to the IRS and the FBI on Daniel John Lee and how much he owes and what he's going to pay. But he says he's not going to pay in defiance of the court. He says he's not going to pay any of the court's orders. Well, that's up to him. I don't really care about that. I care about the facts. And now that the facts are public, people can see what Daniel John Lee is and the others who have been chanting the same fake, ridiculously fake, indefensible rhetoric against myself and other good Christian patriots doing honest and good work. So with the vulgar and the despicable, horrific accusations against myself and Doug Hagman and the others, even tormenting Doug when Doug lost his son in a tragic and suspicious accident or incident, with a father being that devastated and heartbroken, a loving Christian father, to start capitalizing on that, and some of these scumbags stalking and harassing my traumatized daughter after everything she's been through. These are the lowest scum of the earth, reprobate, I think, demon-possessed scumbags on the internet. And it's unacceptable that any of them call themselves Christians or patriots or hide under a fake banner of MAGA or patriotism or any of that. None of them are veterans. None of them have served anything but themselves. In fact, their selfish behavior, their lust for clicks on their video and fake article channels has caused a level of damage to real children who are being trafficked to a degree we cannot calculate. Daniel Lee was getting over 100,000 views in his ridiculous videos before YouTube chased him off, and they got chased off platform after platform, and God only knows where he's at now. But now the facts are known. vetsforchildrescue.org. Go to the very top of our landing page. You'll see the official court's PDF document. Please read through all of it. It's informative. The facts are important to know. And weigh that against the ridiculous internet rumor, and you'll start to understand you need there's a little awakening to happen there. In adult world, in reality, internet rumor means jack squat. Facts are what matter, guys. Doug Hagman and others have gotten death threats. Timothy Holmseth has people making death threats to my entire family. Why? Because I'm arresting child predators and convicting them and rescuing children and filming documentaries exposing child trafficking to, well, at least 100 million viewers by now. It aired on Daystar alone to over 90 million households in the U.S. and Canada. So none of these haters are doing anything, folks. They're all just sitting at home yelling into their phones and their cameras. We need to break this cycle of following lunatics, guys, and start getting on the same sheet of music, which is factual reality. So this is a good day. It's a beautiful day. The facts have won. An internet fraud and con man has been exposed. He's been defeated with the facts as he ran and hid. How can you support that? How can anybody support a man that claims to be a Christian or some kind of prophet when he's doing that to people that he knew were innocent? People that he knew and people that we knew all approached him and showed him the truth, and he didn't care, folks. He ran from it, and he continued lying. He continued defaming us with malice in his heart. Egregious case, guys. So there you have it. There you have it. Daniel John Lee ordered to pay $4.65 million. Over $1 million in that in punitive damages. So again, I'm honored and proud to know Doug Hagman, Russ Dizdar, and Steve Quayle. They are fine gentlemen. They've all been extensively attacked, as have I. And so now today the truth can be shared, and the truth has won out. So God bless. We appreciate your support. It's onward and upward. We're building bigger and stronger operations every day. We appreciate your prayers and your support, guys. God bless. See ya.